What is up, guys? Charles here. Welcome back to another beautiful evening in Eugene, Oregon. How are y'all doing? I'm having a great time. Still getting back into training. Hey, my first decent week of mileage, 5 days this week. We're gonna move up to 6 and 7 over the next couple weeks and just build from there. But as I'm doing this, a lot of what I'm thinking about is making sure that I stay healthy, making sure that I do the right things, for my body to be able to handle these adaptations, because changes in training, are the most difficult obstacles we encounter as endurance athletes, as opposed to, the actual volume of the training itself. It's usually when you're increasing that you want to be careful, you want to make sure you're doing the things right. And, that's what contributes to a conducive build, and your body really appreciates it. So I was also getting a lot of questions from you guys about, how do I stay healthy? How do I manage, starting training again? And, how do I get better is the one that I get all the time. And how you get better is by being able to be consistent, by taking care of yourself. So I wanted to share with you guys my top 3 stretches that have really helped me over the past, like 3 or 4 years. They are what works best for me. So if you guys want to try it, I'm going to show them to you, and you can try it for yourself. With stretching and stuff, it's a very cumulative process, just like training, because it's kind of, they're very related. But as we're all in this together, summer training is something that we all get to do. Without further ado, let's get into it and let's talk about stretching. Let me see if this, a balance, let's go. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is this. It's something I got at the beginning of college. It's just a very simple rope. It doesn't have to be Stanford red, but it's kind of cool if it is. But it is something that I found to be super helpful. It can help with a wide range of stretches, and particularly it can do a lot of stuff that usually requires a partner. And so the first one I'm going to show you is the core stretch I always do with this rope, but there's a ton of different stretches you can do with it. And that is the hamstring stretch. For anyone who's wondering, it's very awkward silently filming yourself stretching, but it's for a good cause. Basically, the first stretch that I did with the stretch rope is a hamstring stretch. You wanna lie down on your back, straighten your leg, wrap the rope around your foot, and then pull it up to the point where you feel tension in your hamstring, which is behind the back of your leg. The hamstrings are really important because it's this long muscle that runs down, pretty much the entire back of your leg. It can get really tight from a sport like running. Honestly, pretty much all sports. If you're an athlete, you probably heard of your hamstring. It's also because it's such a big muscle, I find that I have to stretch it a lot. And the way that I stretch it, I sort of find that tension point, pull back on it for about, I count to 5 seconds. In my head, it usually is probably about 3 to 5 seconds of real time, and then I let it go. And I do that 10 times on each leg, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 20 times in total, and that's it. It goes by pretty fast. After a run, it really feels great because there's usually just so much tension back there. I find that out of the 3, that's probably the most important for me for feeling good, but obviously for everyone, it's gonna be totally different. Each of us run differently, and each of our muscular systems work differently. So honestly, you wanna try as many different stretches as you can, and pay attention to how your muscles are feeling. I say just go with 3. Obviously you can do as many as you want, but you wanna make sure it's something that you actually are doing. So make it a manageable goal, and just try and keep doing it. So that's the hamstring stretch. Moving on to stretch 2, we've got the quad stretch. So to do this, you wanna lie on your side, put the leg that's on the ground in like a 90-degree angle, and then put the leg that's up and grab the top of the foot for the leg that's in the air. Sorry, it's hard to talk through this without actually doing it. Keep the leg on the ground rooted, that's sort of gonna stay in that 90-degree angle, and you're gonna pull on your foot, kind of back behind your body, until you feel a stretch on the front of your leg. That's where your quadricep muscle is. The quads take a huge beating, particularly in slower running, and obviously you use them in workouts, but as you're jogging, especially if you do stuff like hills, your quads can get super tight. Stretching them, for me, just kind of makes the whole front of the leg system work a lot better, just because it's kind of like a powerhouse for your leg. And so that's sort of the stretch I always do second. And that makes a world of difference for me, feeling good with workouts, feeling like I'm not carrying too much tension on the front of my legs, letting my legs flow on a run as opposed to feeling like, they're all balled up. So that's stretch number 2. Stretch number 3 is just gonna be a hip stretch. Keeping your pelvis mobilized is actually super important. As your legs receive impact from running, your pelvis is actually that last stopping point that can still move. Sort of like almost a shock absorber. And if your pelvis isn't moving well, a lot of that impact will go into your legs. And so the last time that I was seriously injured, knock on wood, it was really because my pelvis wasn't moving well. And so a lot of the impact was getting stuck in my right knee, and it just felt like I couldn't run. As soon as I got to 2 miles of every single run, no matter how much time I took off, I just couldn't keep running. What it took was some pelvis mobilization work, making sure my hips were loose and moving correctly, to sort of take a lot of that impact out of running, and it helps so much. This isn't the exact thing I did for that, but this is just something I do to stay on top of it. So basically you just lie on your back, keep one leg down, pull the other, grab it at the knee, pull it up to you, pull it up until you feel that stretch in your hips. Hold it for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to do that for the quad stretch as well. And then do them all 10 times each leg, and that should help a ton. And then we're gonna do secret stretch number 4, which is any stretch you want. Obviously, as things pop up through the year, pretty much every season, there's like some kind of ache and pain I'm dealing with. Thankfully, it's usually not that serious, but there's stretches that make it feel better. And I think part of helping make it not that serious is staying on top of it and preparing to be adaptable. You know, you don't want to be so set in your ways that you can't add stretches or different things to your routine so that you can adapt or pivot when being an athlete throws all these different challenges your way. Stretch number 4 is just gonna be whatever stretch you feel like you need on the day. And honestly, all of these are adaptable. As you do this, hopefully you'll be able to tell, which stretches help you feel better on a run, which ones are more important for you. And I always recommend prioritizing, that individualistic sense of what's working best for your body so that you can go out and find new stretches, different things that help you be the best athlete you could be. And I hope that this just serves as a great starting point for you guys, because these are the ones that I found that I really love. And yeah, I'm thankful for you guys being here so I can share them with you. Good morning, guys. Charles here for a little bonus segment. As I was editing the video, I just wanted to add like a couple tips for you guys. You have the stretches, just a couple tips for getting back into training, stuff that I'm focusing on and stuff that you can focus on. So there's some more tangible stuff you guys can do just to make your lives a little bit easier as athletes. The first one, if you can do it, is probably start the season off with a new pair of shoes. If you are able to replace them and your shoes are really beat up and you put a ton of miles on them, that can significantly increase your risk of injury if the foam has worn all the way out. I used to work in a shoe store over summer, so I used to talk to people about this all the time. I actually prefer to rotate 2 pairs of shoes. That way the foam regenerates overnight. But the main focus is if you have a really beat up pair of shoes, try and replace them, because that can go a really long way in terms of protecting your legs, and also in not just thinking about injury, but it can just make the runs feel better, make you perform better. Another thing I'm thinking about is try not to run too fast. So I really recommend avoiding going straight out the gate and running as hard as you can every day. Enjoy the time of the season where you get to run slow and build up a bit of strength in the legs. There'll be plenty of time for workouts in the future. Just be patient and be smart. Your legs are still getting used to running longer distances, particularly if you took a break. So take it easy those first couple weeks and you'll trust that you'll get there in the end. Final tip is to really have fun with it. If you're at the point in summer training where you're not working out, I recommend going on runs that you've always wanted to go to. If there's a really cool trail, maybe you wouldn't go to if you wanted to preserve your legs more, just like a beautiful run worth running. I recommend just going to it, driving out if you can. Just picking a run that you know that you're gonna enjoy goes a really long way to, I think, that relationship between your brain, your body, and running, and making it something that you really enjoy as opposed to something that you feel like you're obligated to do. Those are just some quick tips. Wanted to throw those in for you guys, just something to think about. Video's gonna end soon, so I'll see you guys next week. That's pretty much it for me for this week. If you're getting back into training, just like where I am right now, remember to be patient. There's a lot of weeks from here to your final goal, so just be patient, be consistent, think about what you need to get done today, and hopefully do your best to create a training program that helps you execute everything you need to do, and just do it as best as you possibly can. Remember to keep your stress low, and just enjoy the process as much as you possibly can. If you guys have any ideas for stuff you want for videos, I obviously have my own ideas for stuff I want to make, but I love responding to your guys' concerns. I've always found, the collaborative aspect of this to be so much fun, and yeah, if there's anything you guys want, drop it in the comments and I'll read through and check out your recommendation. I hope this was helpful and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. All right, till next time, guys.